Millions are heartbroken after beloved star Betty White's death.
I don't even like to think of it.
The grandma everyone wanted to have.
What did Betty pass on to Ryan before she died?
It's a secret.
We didn't know everything about her. We think we do.
I just always marvel at how profound it is.
What do you think is the secret?
People are going to go nuts over this.
The devastating secret behind Betty's positivity finally revealed.
There was a love affair.
It was heartbreaking.
Betty's last word was Alan.
He'd say, "Will you marry me?" And I said, "Forget it. I'm focused on my career."
What kind of person chooses their career over a family?
A lady over 30, single,
Real strict, no nonsense.
independent for herself.
It's really about prioritizing.
But she regretted it until the very end.
Because that sticks. That sticks around. We truly loved each other.
I just think it's unforgivable.
It almost finished me.
How do you get over it? You don't.
Betty's heartbreaking secret finally revealed.
One night we went to dinner and he gave me a jewelry box and I opened it and there's a lovely wedding ring. He said, "You might as well wear it. You're going to say yes sooner or later." I got mad. I got furious and I gave it back to him and I said, "Forget it."
Betty defied expectations by choosing her own dreams over marriage.
When we say that she was the first person on TV, it's literal.
By her 20s, she was a fixture on television with her own show.
And Betty always supported others trying to achieve their dreams.
Betty White fights to keep a dancer on her show despite receiving threats.
The first TV show that I'd ever been on.
All through the South, there was this whole ruckus. They were going to take our show off the air if we didn't get rid of Arthur because he was black. So I said, "I'm sorry, but, he stays."
But while Betty was focusing on her career, someone caught her eye.
How did you and Alan Ludden meet?
Their love story began on the game show Password, where Alan was the host.
What are your plans for the summer, Betty?
Well, I'm going to do some... What did you have in mind, Alan?
By the end of the year, he wouldn't say hello. He'd say, "Will you marry me?" Well, I thought that was such a joke. I mean, that's ridiculous.
But Betty said no, not wanting to leave her career behind.
Betty White reveals that she had 2 failed marriages. One reportedly ended because she wanted a career rather than kids.
You consciously made the decision not to have your own children. I was committed to my career.
But Betty remembered her mom's secret to happiness.
My mother, she said, "Always try to look at the upside, not the downside."
If you look at those negatives, you spoil all the good stuff, and it goes by and you haven't tasted it.
It had suddenly dawned on me I was going to spend the rest of my life without him because of my stubbornness.
And the next time Betty talked to Alan, she knew what she had to say.
Finally, Easter came along, and he sent me this beautiful little stuffed bunny with earrings on its ears. It just said, "Please say yes." That night when he called me, I didn't say hello, I said yes.
And as Betty's star grew, Alan supported her the way she always wanted.
How's Betty?
She's fine. She's taping a show. I hope she's enjoying.
Love of my life. When you've had the best, who needs the rest?
But when Alan's life was cut short, Betty put on a brave face.
Betty cherished every moment of her life with Alan, who after nearly 2 decades together, became sick from stomach cancer.
We didn't know that there was no hope until about 2 years before.
We just made up our minds that we were going to make the most of the time we had.
It made me sorry for the year that I kept saying no, I wouldn't marry him. And how do you get over it? You don't.
In her darkest moment, Betty remembered her mom's words.
My mother has the most wonderful approach to death. We know almost everything in the world, but we don't know what happens at that moment. So whenever we lose somebody, she'd say, "Now he knows the secret."
I swear, somewhere in here, he'd tell me, you gotta keep going, and you gotta, shape up or ship out. He's still so very much around.
Overcoming her grief, Betty was determined to appreciate every moment and spread happiness through her work.
With each passing decade, Betty's career just seemed to get better and better.
It's putting one foot in front of the other and making the most that you can of each day.
That is why so many people from so many generations related to Betty White as the grandma everyone wanted to have.
And Betty was offered an opportunity that would give her a lifelong friendship.
She's this incredibly authentic, charming, talented, funny woman. And I think that's what really makes her special.
I wound up being lifelong friends with the cast.
She gets up to leave and everyone's sad because it's her last shot, and she's just walking out the door to say goodbye, and she turns around, right, and she says, "This is the most fun I've ever had." standing up.
And when Ryan's dad died, Betty passed on her secret to happiness.
Got to go say goodbye to my father, which was nice, but we had a lot of unspoken things that we would never get to sort out.
Do you have any advice on grieving?
The only thing that helps, really, is time. But then the good stuff, the permanent stuff, stays there. He never goes away. If you think of death as another adventure coming up, it doesn't hurt as much.
And when Betty took her final adventure, she learned the biggest secret of all.
She has shown that it doesn't have to stop when you're 65, even 70 years old. You can go into your 90s and continue to do everything you used to do before.
I think her legacy is there is always a silver lining, and she embodies that.
Betty's friend revealed that Betty's last word was her husband's name, Alan.
Ryan Reynolds and wife Blake Lively welcome a new baby girl named Betty.
When Betty passed on New Year's Eve, Ryan Reynolds posted a tribute to his friend saying, quote, "The world looks a little different now. She was great at defying expectations. She managed to grow very old and somehow not old enough. We'll miss you, Betty. Now you know the secret."